Hello everyone, my name is Latricia Maddox and this is my informative speech on the origin of the alphabet. The general purpose of this speech is to inform students about who created the alphabet and how it evolved along the years and how important it is to us today. At the end of my speech, I want the audience to understand the significance of the alphabet and how we might have taken it for granted on a daily basis. Without the alphabet, what would we be today? How would we communicate? There would be no way to communicate. The only thing that we would be able to do is to use the telephone. But how would they have instructions on using making a telephone if they didn't have a way to write it down for later use? Learning about the alphabet is important because our past history is essential, and knowing what our ancestors created should not be forgotten or taken for granted. Learning about the origin of the alphabet will allow us to know how essential our past history is to help us understand who developed the alphabet and teach us about the alphabet, about how the alphabet spread. Today I will give as much evidence about how the alphabet was created and spread and how it became a part of life today. I will also explain why the alphabet was such a successful invention in the Phoenician times. Before the alphabet was invented, early writings have been based on pictographic symbols known as hieroglyphics in about 1800 BCE. This was created by pressing a stylus into soft clay. This method required a different symbol for each word. Only a select few educated scribes could translate. So because only a select few translated scribes could translate, no one knew how to read. No one knew how to read. They had to get educated people to basically translate all of the messages that were sent back and forth through each town. Then the original alphabet was created so that more people could read and understand important messages. Phoenician and Merriam merchants came up with the consonantal alphabet known as Abjad. The original alphabet was created so that more people could read and understand important messages for trade. Phoenician and Merriam merchants came up with this alphabet that consisted of 22 symbols, simple enough for ordinary traders to draw and learn, making it more accessible and widespread. By 8th BCE, the Phoenician alphabet was spread to Greece, where it was revised and used for the Greek language. Some of the Phoenician characters were kept and others removed. The greatest thing was the use of letters that sounded like words. The reason why this alphabet was so big at the time is because you could sound out the words, and you could sound out the words to make the letters, or you could use the words, sound them out, and make words. You could use the letters, sound them out, and make words. It made more sense than to use pictures that could mean more than one symbol. After the Greeks adopted the Phoenician alphabet and added vowels to it, they used it for all types of literature and arts during their time. This art and literature was eventually passed down to us. For example, the theater plays of Epaphroditus and the philosophy of Socrates. Both of these plays and information is from about 600 BCE. They were written and passed along with the alphabet adopted from the Phoenicians and revised by the Greeks. The Etruscans from Italy then adopted the alphabet and passed it along to the Romans. The Romans then made their changes to the alphabet. This led to the alphabet we use today. It's used for almost everything today. We would think that the alphabet has always been around, but no, it had to actually be created and revised several times in order for it to be in use as it is today. In conclusion, the alphabet was created by the Semitic people and revised and spread by the Phoenicians, also known as the Purple people. This creation is important because it's the sole root of communication. If it were not for these once strange symbols, we would not have a source of communication today. The motivation is so desired for this speech is to inform my fellow peers on how and why the alphabet was created. I also wanted to give an example of actual symbols that was used at first. Thank you. Have a blessed day.